I miss the days when things were what they were supposed to be and when people and companies did what they were supposed to do. I miss the days when police investigated actual crimes and when they found and punished criminals guilty of rape, burglary, stabbings, and murders and muggings. Now they're too busy painting their cars in rainbow colors. Call me crazy, I miss the days when banks provided banking services. I miss the days when ice cream makers were just that and didn't preach and meddle into politics they don't really understand. I miss the days when doctors would help each one of us choose the absolute best treatment for each one of us, for our children, and not employ our government's wishes and mandates. I miss the days when schools were just about teaching basic school subjects. I miss the days when teachers taught math, English, science, and history, not 132 different pronouns, and didn't feel the need to come out to their young students or detail their sexual exploits in the classroom. I miss the days when the wonderful world of Disney was all about fairy tales and dreams and wholesome joy for both parents and children. Disney's foray into the wonderful world of grooming our children began when the company overstepped and fell into the liberal trap of calling Florida's parental rights bill the Don't Say Gay bill. Again, not what it is nor what it says. And then Disney made it painstakingly clear that not only were they celebrating sexualized content for small children, but they were going out of their way to place that agenda into as much content as possible for kids. Disney is already seeing the painful fruit of its agenda-filled labor. Its stock has plummeted. Its movies are flopping. The company has lost its special privileges in the state of Florida, rightfully so, earned decades ago. But there are no lessons learned in the magical land of grooming, I'm afraid.
Excuse me, which of these products would you recommend?
Well, these are the tampons I usually use.
Thank you.
I prefer pads. They're more comfortable for me.
Thank you.
I always get the ones with wings.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a leaked video from Disney's upcoming show, Baymax. A friend of the show and warrior for our kids, Christopher Rufo, posted that clip from the show featuring the transgender flag and the idea that men can menstruate. I'm not kidding you. This content being promoted for children as young as 2 years old. So the left's campaign to confuse children and unnecessarily expose them to content there's just no reason for them to consume is alive and well in corporate America. Disney is fully on board and delivering. Disney making it clear that, one, they don't care about profits, something their shareholders would probably care about very deeply, and that, two, they're hell-bent on destroying American culture and indoctrinating children. Grooming them is the very utmost of their agenda. And Disney is not alone. This narrative, this quest to poison the minds of America's children, comes down from the very top brass of the country and now trickles throughout. But it's pushed down from the top. Joe Biden appointed Health Secretary Rachel Levine, who is trans.
Gender-affirming care is life-saving, medically necessary, age-appropriate, and a critical tool for healthcare providers.
Okay, Rachel, but here's the thing. Rachel Levine transitioned from male to female in 2011. She was well into her 50s when she did that. If that's what he wanted to do, then kudos to her. But why is she pushing this procedure on children? Rachel Levine is a doctor. He's a physician. She's a physician. Sorry. In fact, why is a trans woman, a doctor, a four-star admiral, so insistent that a procedure that she had well into her adulthood is something that is viable for small children when science and medicine is out there that proves otherwise? How can a doctor at one of the highest levels of our government actually say that sex change operations are life-saving and a medical necessity? You know, Pride Month is a 30-day celebration, a celebration of the LGBTQ plus community, which has seen decades of discrimination, hardship, and exclusion. I get it. They were fighting for equality. But now it's been marred by what looks like the blatant attempt to indoctrinate small children. Today, according to a report by journalist Andy Ngo, editor-at-large at Post Millennial, an event was planned to take place in Portland with flyers to promote it. A children's photo shoot complete with makeup and wardrobe, organized by a group of anonymous members of leftist Antifa. And according to Andy Ngo, Kennedy Beerley was a lead organizer. Kennedy Louise Beerley, a pornographer who makes and sells sexual content, an organizer. So according to this report, and Andy, a known pornographer is organizing a photo shoot with children. This is not okay. Drag shows throughout the country exposing small children to sexual acts, sexual outfits and characters, and sexual content. This is not okay. A drag queen performing for children who's charged with an alleged 25 counts of child pornography. This is not okay. And right now, it would serve the LGBTQ plus community well to speak up against those things, to speak up against the dark underbelly that is taking advantage of their so-called pride. They must do it now because their whole movement is in serious danger right now. It's always many, many steps too far to involve children in an overly sexualized agenda. And it's always many, many, many steps too far to try and do that without the explicit permission of their parents. This is a losing battle for the LGBTQ community. And right now is a losing battle for a progressive left that is seemingly supportive of sexualizing children, of harming children. The left would almost be able to convince us that they're not trying to groom children, our children, if they weren't working so hard to groom children, our children. Happy Pride Month. Now show some pride and make this right.